अस्सलाम वालेकुम नाज़रीन, आप रूबरू प्रोग्राम देख रहे हैं। ईद की खुशियाँ यकीनन आप मना रहे हैं और हम भी मसलसल अपने प्रोग्राम के ज़रिए या बुलेटिन के ज़रिए या ख़ुसूसी नशरियात के ज़रिए आपको पाकिस्तान के अंदर मनाई जाने वाली खुशियों से आगाह कर रहे हैं। लेकिन आज का ये ख़ुसूसी प्रोग्राम है। हम इस प्रोग्राम के ज़रिए आपको नाज़रीन ये बताना चाह रहे हैं कि बैरून मुल्क कैसे ईद मनाई जाती है और ख़ास तौर पर उन ममालिक में जहाँ मुस्लिम अक़लियत है। ऐसे बहुत सारे ममालिक हैं जहाँ मुसलमान ज़्यादा तादाद में बसते हैं, लेकिन बहुत सारे मुल्क हैं जहाँ मुसलमान कम तादाद में बसते हैं। तो इसलिए हम ये भी आज बताएंगे आपको कि उन ममालिक में जहाँ मुस्लिम अक्सरियत नहीं है, ईद तो होती है, हर जगह होती है, वहाँ पर ईद की खुशियाँ कैसे होती हैं, क्योंकि ईद तो त्यौहार ही खुशी का है। खुशियाँ तो साझी होती हैं, इकट्ठी होती हैं। तो कुछ इंटरनेशनल जर्नलिस्ट आज मेरे साथ हैं, मुख्तलिफ़ ममालिक से मैंने उनको ख़ुसूसी तौर पर शिरकत की दावत दी है और वो मैं उनका तारफ़ करा देता हूँ। हमें ज्वाइन कर रही हैं आज़रबाईजान से ल्यामन ज़ीनालोवा। ये डिप्टी एडिटर हैं, वहाँ पर एक ट्रेंड एजेंसी है उसकी। बहुत थैंक यू वेरी मच ल्यामन। आई हैव टू मिक्स इन उर्दू एंड इंग्लिश एज वेल। थैंक यू फॉर योर टाइम। मेरी दूसरी मेरी नाज़रीन दूसरी मेहमान है निकोल मेलक। ये माल्टा से हमें ज्वाइन कर रही हैं और ये भी डिप्टी एडिटर इन चीफ हैं माल्टा टुडे की। Thank you, Nicole Mellak. I really wondered that when I speak Mellak in Pakistan, Malik is also a title clubbed with some names. Anyhow, thank you very much for joining us. नाज़रीन, मेरी तीसरी मेहमान है जोएल कोज़ैली। ये लेबनान से MTV के लिए काम करती हैं और ख़ुसूसी तौर पर हमें ज्वाइन कर रही हैं। थैंक यू जोएल, you have spare time for us. Let's start the program. But friends, I must tell you that you are not in Arizona or North Carolina, that you are covering the US midterm election, and you are not the guest of the State Department. Rather, you are my guest in my show called Rubaroo, and I really appreciate you spare time. ल्यामन, let's start from you. You also had enjoyed, you must have been very excited on the Eid day. But tell my viewers, how Eid is celebrated in Azerbaijan. What are the colors, the cultural currents, the customs, all together?
Thank you, Shaukat, for this question. First of all, let me to greet everyone here from Azerbaijan and congratulate everyone using this opportunity in Pakistan, the lovely, the brotherly nation of Pakistan, with this holy holiday, with this Ramadan, with Eid holiday. What about Azerbaijan? As like all Muslim countries, Azerbaijan also celebrates widely this Eid holiday. It's a very holy day for us because we are a Muslim majority country, and especially this year it was in particularly interesting because it started right after our Nowruz holiday, which is also very important for us. And during the month of Ramadan, we try to be more generous. We try to help poor people. We cook special meals. We set up table for dinner. It's called iftar, eat. And it's a very great opportunity to bring the people you love, the people you appreciate, all together around the same table to share your views, your experience, and to say once again that you love each other, because in our days it's not very every time possible to bring the whole family together, and it's really a great time. And we do believe that during the month of Ramadan, you can get very good habits, which can also help you in your life, in your whole life. And it's really very important, one of the most important holidays for the Muslim world to come together and celebrate it all together. Thank you.
Yeah, certainly these are the celebration. Joelle Kozaily, even in Lebanon, more than 60% they are the Muslims living over there. How you find the celebrations in the streets of Beirut and other parts of Lebanon?
Shaukat, first of all, let me thank you for hosting me in this show. And I would like to greet everyone in Pakistan and also greet my colleagues who are with me in this show. Of course, Ramadan is a great occasion, national occasion here in Lebanon, religious and social one, actually. And it is coinciding this year with the Easter. So, you know, it's a very diverse country here. We have Christians and Muslims celebrating the Eid together. Usually in Lebanon, we have a lot of traditions regarding Ramadan. We have the Msaharati who walks in the street before the sunrise in order to wake people up to be able to have their meals before starting to fast. We also have special meals, special sweets like the kelej. We also have special drinks, the jaleb. It's made of dates and it's very delicious. Ramadan is an occasion for everyone to gather, all the families around one table to have iftar dinners together, but also nationwide, Muslims and Christians, they share the iftar together, which is really a great thing. But unfortunately, Ramadan this year is very sad because, as you know, we have a very big crisis in Lebanon, economic and financial crisis.
Yeah.
The Lebanese pound is very devalued and prices are soaring. So it's very hard for people to be able to buy foods and their basic needs. That is why this is an occasion to do charity work and to help people who are in need to be able to have their iftar dinner. So, Shaukat, it's a very difficult time, but you know, in Lebanon, people come together in solidarity. And also we have people helping us from other countries, Lebanese who are abroad. They try to help Lebanese people who are suffering here. So I do hope that soon we will find a solution to our crisis and people will be able to be happy again during this time.
Yeah, I will certainly, in the later part of the show, I'll talk about this crisis, price hike and other things. But Nicole Mellak, thank you. In Malta, there is a sizable number of Muslims living over there, and I heard there is a Pakistani community in Malta. So how they celebrate Eid, how you observe them, whether it's a exciting experience, it's a sharing of joys together. How do you observe over there?
So first off, thank you very much for having me here today, and I would just want to say a big hello to my colleagues here who are with us as well. I think it's first very important to point out that Malta is a very Catholic country, around 80% practicing Christian. So that has to be said. Obviously, the celebrations for Eid do happen a bit on the fringe, but it doesn't mean that it does not happen. Have the community going to the local mosque, having their celebrations there, then going home, spending their time with the family.
Yeah.
So they celebrated in the same way that many other people would celebrate. But obviously it's not as big of a celebration publicly, at least.
Yeah, maybe 3-4% of the population is Muslim over there, Pakistani, then Bangladeshi, they are there. So the celebration is there somehow, whether it's a 3% or 80%. That is basically the spirit of this Eid.
Yes, absolutely. I was going to say that what was really good about this year, though, in particular, obviously, since Malta is not a Muslim country, there's no public holiday to celebrate Eid in particular. So if it happens on a weekday, for example, it might be harder for people to take time off, for example, and to actually properly spend some time with family for all the celebrations. But this year it's a bit lucky because it is coming around the weekend. So it's going to be a bit easier for everyone to celebrate in that way. So I think that will be very good for the Muslim community in Malta.
Yeah, that's wonderful, and that's the whole spirit of Ramadan. that you develop patience, you develop a restraint, and then the coexistence that if there is a Easter day, there is a Eid holiday, and everyone is celebrating. नादरीन, यही तो मज़हब की खूबी है हमारे मज़हब की कि हम आहंगी पे भी हम यकीन रखते हैं और अपनी खुशियों में भी दूसरों को शेयर करते हैं. मैं ब्रेक लेता हूं नाज़रीन, ब्रेक के बाद जब वापस आएंगे कुछ पाकिस्तान और इन मुल्कों के दरमियान में ताल्लुकात पर भी बात करना चाह रहा हूं, लेकिन नाज़रीन यहाँ ब्रेक लेते हैं. वेलकम बैक नाज़रीन, आप रूबरू प्रोग्राम देख रहे हैं. हम ईद की खुशियों पे बात कर रहे हैं और पाकिस्तान से निकल कर मुख्तलिफ़ ममालिक में ईद कैसे सेलिब्रेट की जाती है. मैं अपनी ओवरसीज़ कोलीग से, जर्नलिस्ट से बात कर रहा हूँ. Joelle Kozaily, you talked about the problems of economic nature, price hike. These are the common problems. I mean, Pakistan and maybe Lebanon, they share these problems. Insecurity is a problem. A price hike is a problem. Then, shortage of necessary funds is a problem. So it's not only in Lebanon that more parts of the world, there are many parts of the world, more and more people, they are facing these problems, but still, we have to survive. COVID-19 crisis, then supply chain disturbances, then low productions, it all has created the problem. So how do you feel about relation between Lebanon and Pakistan?
Shaukat, ever since 2019, actually October 2019, Lebanon is in a free fall and it's never ending.
Okay.
The situation is very dire here. The Lebanese pound is pretty much devalued. $1 before the crisis was worth 1,500 Lebanese pounds, whereas now it's worth more than 100,000 Lebanese pounds. So it's very huge, the difference between before and now. We also have, as you said, the same problem regarding the IMF. The IMF wants Lebanon to implement reforms in order to be able to unlock new loans of around $3 billion. But the difference between Lebanon and Pakistan is huge. Pakistan is a great nation, whereas Lebanon is a very small, tiny nation, So when I think about Pakistan, we think about a great army, one of the strongest armies.
Okay.
You would think about the nuclear power, whereas in Lebanon, the army doesn't have a lot of necessary equipment. At the same time, we don't have the institutions working here in Lebanon. We don't have electricity. It's very disastrous. So we can't really compare it to Pakistan. At the same time, when we think about Pakistan and Lebanon, we think about the sectarian tension that we have. In both countries, we have different sects, different religions. We have the Shia and the Sunnah. So there are never-ending tensions from time to time. So I know that you have the same problem in Pakistan. Also, you have the problem of fighting terrorism. And in Lebanon, we had that for a while when there was ISIS. You have problems with Taliban. Whenever the international media sheds the light on Pakistan and Lebanon, they usually shed the light on the problems that we are facing. So we have the political deadlock. In Lebanon, you have political issues with Imran Khan. We also have the political dynasties in both countries.
Yes.
So basically,
and even you talked about IMF. We are also facing hard times from the IMF. The proposed agreement that had to be extended for a long time before, that's not happening now. So problems are there, but I tell you, we have a lot of respect for Lebanon as a country. That's a great country. It has been a center of the world. I know it was center of tourists, it was center of international trade and commerce, and we are sorry that we heard there was a big blast in the Beirut port some times back.
Actually, let me say, please, Shaukat, that we are very grateful for the people of Pakistan who have been helping the Lebanese here. As you know, a lot of help has been sent to us through the embassy here. Here, I would like to greet the ambassador of Pakistan, Salman Athar, who is doing a great job here. We have received tons of medicines and food supplies from Pakistan after the blast. And also lately, we are still receiving help. We have a lot of cooperation between the armies as well. Lately, the commander of the naval forces went to Pakistan to participate in an exercise. So Pakistan is a great friend to Lebanon, and thank you for the help that you are offering us.
I really appreciate your large-heartedness, that there is appreciation. Nicole, I come to you. There are many Pakistanis, I understand, working in Malta. Maybe you come across with someone or not, but there are Pakistanis. When you hear about Pakistan or the word Pakistan is spoken in front of you, what are your perceptions about Pakistan then?
Well, I mean, historically, Malta and Pakistan have had very good relations at the end of the day. They do share a same common history in that they're both, correct me if I'm wrong, both part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, we are members of the Commonwealth.
Exactly. So that's a very helpful way of sort of being like helping each other economically, politically, socially. So that's always a good ally to have. Also in recent years, as you said, the Pakistani community has really grown, particularly since 2017, with a lot of people from Southeast Asia coming to Malta and filling in a lot of these important jobs at the end of the day that maybe Maltese people aren't necessarily doing themselves. But I think we have also seen that a lot of these workers do end up being some of the more precarious workers in Malta. They come here. Before they come here, they do pay very high fees to even secure a job. Then they come here and it's just not very stable, so to speak. So I think this is also a problem that a lot of people in the Pakistani community here are facing. Although it is a common issue with a lot of the foreign workers in Malta. So precarity is a big problem in that regard. But other than that, I mean, Pakistan has always been a very good ally to Malta and had been very instrumental, for example, in setting up Malta's national airline, for example. And, you know, the national airline for Malta has been a very important economic pillar, like in its history. So very good relations.
So, tell us a little bit about your own country, Malta. What is its population, where it is located? I can find it out on the map, but for my viewers, you know, tell us something about Malta, because, you know, Malta in my language, it is called orange, you know, and orange citrus family fruit is very tasty, and we produce in bulk of, you know, oranges. But Malta as a country, can you little bit enlighten us about your country, great country of Malta?
Of course. Of course. We have our own share of orange production as well, for what it's worth. But like, I mean, obviously, the obvious factor is that we're a very, very small country.
Okay.
Of a population of 500,000 people. So, and that obviously brings a lot of issues with it. I mean, obviously, we don't necessarily have the human labor to sustain a lot of people. So that's why we do rely on a lot of foreign workers to actually maintain economic growth. Beyond that, we do. We're a member of the European Union as well.
I think that's important. That's very important that we two countries, we are member of the Commonwealth. Lyaman, I come to you. Well, Pakistan and Azerbaijan, if they are not the neighbors, but they are the neighbors, you know, just with one or two countries between us, but we share the culture, we share the religion, we share the past, even history. What do you think about Pakistan when a Pakistan word is spoken right in front of you?
Well, when I hear about Pakistan, the first word which comes to my mind is brother, a brotherly nation, a brotherly country, an ally, a very reliable partner that is always there and will always be there to help us, to support us. And you know that in early 1990s, when Azerbaijan just became an independent country, Pakistan was one of the first countries to recognize Azerbaijan's independence. And after, when our 20% of our territories were occupied by Armenia, Pakistan was one of the first countries again to express support to Azerbaijan. It didn't have any diplomatic relations with Armenia.
Pakistan still does not have a diplomatic relations with Armenia.
Exactly, yeah. And Pakistan has always stood by Azerbaijan in all international organizations, international platforms, always voted for the resolutions supporting Azerbaijan. The brightest example of Pakistan-Azerbaijan brotherhood came to our mind when we talk about the Second Karabakh War, because during this war, Pakistan again, as always, supported Azerbaijan, strongly supported Azerbaijan. We expanded our military cooperation as well, which is very impressive. And I want to mention one important thing, that during the Second Karabakh War, you could see everywhere the flags of Pakistan alongside with the flags of Azerbaijan, which was very lovely. And you can still see Pakistani flag on our streets, despite the fact that 2.5 years have passed since the end of the Second Karabakh War. Pakistan and Azerbaijan are also doing great job in the economic sphere. But I would like to refer to some figures, if you don't mind.
Please go ahead.
Last year, the trade turnover between Azerbaijan and Pakistan was $28.1 million US. And compared to the previous year, I mean the 2021, the trade turnover has more than doubled, because in 2021 it was only $11.7 million. And it's a very huge number. Also, Azerbaijan and Pakistan are going to sign a preferential trade agreement. It will give another impetus to even more developing trade relations, economic relations in all spheres, which is also very important. We do great job in energy sphere. As you know, Pakistan has been occasionally buying LNG from Azerbaijan, and now we are in talks of buying more batches of LNG again from Azerbaijan, and also we have cooperation in oil supplies as well. And this is very important against the backdrop of the world energy crisis, which is surrounding all the countries around the world. So Pakistan and Azerbaijan are friends, are partners forever. Azerbaijan also supporting Pakistan's just position in the Jammu and Kashmir issue. So this support is mutual, and this friendship is forever and very strong.
And this thankfulness and gratefulness is also mutual, because Azerbaijan has always supported Pakistan, as you said, on the issue of Kashmir. I have to take a small break. नादरीन ब्रेक लेते हैं. ब्रेक के बाद जब वापस आएंगे, जिन रीजन में ये तीनों मेहमान रहते हैं वहाँ कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स भी हैं, मैं उस पर भी बात करूँगा. लेकिन नादरीन, एक ब्रेक के बाद स्टे विद अस. वेलकम बैक नादरीन, आप रूबरू प्रोग्राम देख रहे हैं. हम ईद के हवाले से बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन पाकिस्तान के अंदर से नहीं, बल्कि इंटरनेशनल जर्नलिस्ट इस वक्त मेरे साथ मौजूद हैं. बात को आगे बढ़ाते हैं. Joelle, Saudi Arabia and Iran, they are coming closer now. They are resuming their diplomatic ties. Similarly, Saudi Arabia and Syria, they are also resuming their ties. And you know how these triangular relationship has been affecting your region. What is thinking in Lebanon or other parts of Middle East about resumption of diplomatic ties or normalization, especially between Iran and Saudi Arabia?
As you know, Shaukat, in Lebanon, we welcome reconciliations between nations everywhere. Okay. You know, we hate wars. We've been through wars and we hate it. We hate them. The Middle East doesn't need more wars. So peace would be something positive, of course, for the region. It would ease tensions. And Lebanon may have, like, perhaps a few repercussions it would be perhaps positive to ease tensions between the Shia and the Sunnah. We have a majority of Shia who are affiliated to Iran, and whereas the majority of Sunnah are affiliated to Saudi Arabia. So whenever there is a reconciliation between those nations, it could have an easing effect on the Lebanese population. But on the long run, it won't have a lot of impact. In Lebanon, we have our own internal issues that we need to solve, regardless of any international interference. Actually, we don't need more interference in our issues in Lebanon. We have to face and fight corruption, which hasn't been done yet. We are far from doing it. We have to unlock the political deadlock. We have a presidential vacuum right now. The parliament is failing to elect a new president. We also have to see people, politicians, held responsible for the Beirut blast. And the families of the victims are still demanding that. It happened in August 2020, and until now, the Lebanese officials have failed to do anything about it. So we want justice. We also want to fight corruption, as I said. And
so internal problems are equally important to fight against. Stay with us, please. Nicole, in recent months, we have seen that many Asian people or African, they wanted to have illegal migration to the European countries, and some boats were capsized near Italian and Libyan coast. Many unfortunate deaths were seen over there, including many Pakistanis, people from Bangladesh and other parts of the world. How this problem of human trafficking can be controlled,
I mean, this is obviously a very complex question. And in this regard, Malta always has to keep in mind its position as a member of the EU, also as a border state of the EU, together with Italy, Spain, Greece, and so on. And so I do think that's this issue in particular, which it is a human trafficking issue, but I think it's also a migration issue. And there are very political reasons as to why we are seeing these people fleeing their home countries and going to somewhere that they feel is safer or more economically stable for them. So at the end of the day, I think the approach should really be at an EU level, all together, the border states coming together to have some sort of plan, but also the other EU member states do have to pitch in as well to help if we're going to tackle this issue as this European community that they sold up. So that's the main solution, I feel, to the human trafficking aspect as well.
Yeah, it's really difficult to tolerate such a crime when there are casualties, deaths. Many people, they lose their lives in search of good life back in Europe. I go to Azerbaijan, and Lyaman, price hike was being talked about, but even in your region, right across your country, Ukraine and Russia, there is Ukraine is facing Russian aggression, partly the food price, the supply chain disturbance, that is because of that war. But still, although Azerbaijan is a rich oil country, you people must be very wealthy. How do you feel these problems that humankind is facing nowadays?
Yeah, Shaukat, the world economy has been going through very difficult times. It started, first of all, with COVID-19, with lockdowns and so on. And then right after that, we had the Russian-Ukrainian war, and which was even more destructive for the world economy. Because for the first time ever, the world has faced different crises. On the one hand, it had energy crisis. On the other hand, it had food crisis, and it was a result of disruption of the traditional supply chains. Of course, the world inflation rate has been estimated at 20.4 last year and 0.4% last year, and it's a very huge figure. And the world economic recession, this crisis in different spheres of economy has differently affected all the countries all over the world, and Azerbaijan is no exclusion as well. And I think that every country should have its own program, its own strategy, which is unique for his own country, for his economic structure, in order to get out of this situation as better as it can. And Azerbaijan, of course, had its own strategy. And Azerbaijan is one of the very lucky countries because it's alongside with having its far-sighted policy strategy. It also a very energy-rich country, and as you know, energy prices skyrocketed during this crisis, and Azerbaijan started exporting more oil and gas to European countries. Demand for gas increased, and this gave us a huge amount of revenues, and also due to the Russian-Ukrainian war, the traditional transport links were not very useful. That's why the middle corridor, which passes through Azerbaijan, became relevant, and it also increased the importance of Azerbaijan as it is situated at the junction of the corridors going from Europe to Asia and vice versa, and it also gave additional revenues as a transit country. So high prices on the one hand.
So high prices really, they are affecting the globe everywhere. Human beings are facing problems. Thank you very much, Lyaman Zeynalova. You spare time for me. Nicole Mellak, thank you very much. You spare time. And Joelle Kozaily, thank you very much. नादरीन, इंटरनेशनल जर्नलिस्ट की आपने बातचीत सुनी। ईद के हवाले से भी उन्होंने बताया कि उनके अपने अपने मुल्क में ईद कैसी होती है, लेकिन मैंने ज़रूरी समझा चूँकि ये जर्नलिस्ट हैं तो कुछ थोड़े से मसाइल पर भी बात कर ली जाए। अपने मेज़बान शौकत पराचा को इजाज़त दीजिए। खुदा हाफिज़।